but I do not trust any man who makes hiking his whole personality. Hiking with a man alone is the equivalent of like riding a motorcycle without a helmet. It is very deadly. Look up Alpine divorce. Okay. So when you're flipping through the dating apps and like every man loves to hike. Yeah. I will not go hiking with a man. I don't trust people who hike and camp as their whole personality. Like I don't. And if you didn't know this, in the national parks, which I'm sure it's even worse now, but in the national parks, like if you go missing, they don't have to look for you. So, yeah, if he's super into hiking, he wants to take you hiking, baby girl. No, we don't do that. My friends think I'm...
On episode 872 on Do Men Even Like Women? Alpine divorce. Alpine divorce is when a man takes his partner or his wife hiking and then leaves her there in the woods alone, thus breaking up with her, thus divorcing her. Or I saw someone in a comment section about this say that their partner left her stranded in the ocean. This is that common that there are support groups for Alpine divorce. Let that sink in. This is that common that there are support groups with hundreds and thousands of women that have this happen to them. And as a woman-loving woman, I just don't understand. I genuinely am serious when I say, do men even like women? It's like women annoy you all. It's like they're an annoying sister or colleague. So yeah, that's a sobering fact for a Sunday that I was today years old, found out about.
The question here is,
So, in light of everyone's recent discovery of Alpine divorces, I just realized in New Moon, that's what Edward does to Bella. He takes her out into the middle of the fucking woods and just leaves her there, breaks up with her and leaves her there. Huh? Oh, one more reason not to like that man. I love it. So,
do you want to talk about something else that makes men the worst?
oh, sure.
Alpine divorce is when a man will take a woman, usually his like romantic partner or his wife, into the wilderness and abandon her there.
What? To die?
Essentially, this is a thing, and we need to bring more awareness to this. Nobody better go hiking. Nobody better go camping. That is over. Girls, stay the fuck home. You go to a resort or you go nowhere. Do you hear me? I think back to when I first started dating Marley, who we all know is very outdoorsy.
Very outdoorsy.
Our third date was a hike.
Wow.
What a fucking idiot I was.
What an idiot.
Do you want...
There are men out there who, instead of breaking up with their significant other, they'll just take them hiking and then leave them behind, and hopefully they get lost or take it up to faith what happens to them. Usually it ends up in homicide, they get lost, they're never found, they become missing. Apparently it's a thing called Alpine divorce. Like, what the hell? Why not just freaking break things off? Why just leave them behind, which can lead them to get murdered or lost? There are men...
Imagine being such a terrible person. When I saw it said that he was found guilty.
If I'm not getting a new handler, why are these my suggestions?
Şu anda keşfetimde karşıma çıkan...
Just woken up to the news that Thomas Planberger has been found guilty of gross negligence. This is the exact moment Kirsten go...
Do I think that Rosalie would have ever gone off the deep end and had Emmett try to impregnate humans so that she could have her own babies? This is a question that was asked very early on when I had this account, and I didn't really have a fully formed answer. I'd love to see a book where Rosalie really has to grapple with the consequences that we now know that male vampires can impregnate humans. Before we got Ragnarok, I would have said no, the baby would have to be Rosalie.
Someone would...
The expert climber who...
So if you also made the absurd decision to spend 500 pages in this voyeuristic maniac's head and read Midnight Sun, which is Twilight, the first book from the perspective of Old Man Glitterbag, you would know that
Being the insufferable self-indulgent egg that he is, he frequently references his own self-imposed metaphor about Hades and Persephone and wonders if he is Hades, dooming Persephone to the underworld. Like, the first time we hear about this in true Edward fashion is when Bella is simply... Thank you for bringing it up because it's time for a reminder. While Breaking Dawn...
I don't know how far you're willing to go with your particular brand of controversy, but women's...
So we talked about how the Voltaire...
They called it the Alpine.
Okay, something that doesn't get talked about enough about...
What do you mean men are taking women on hikes and then they abandon them after breaking up with them?
I'm not going to lie, that is a great idea and 100% something that I would do. Yes, I am that kind of guy. I'm sure you're curious. Let's talk about it. Would I do that in a situation where me and this person just grew apart, like things just weren't really clicking, we had different like plans or whatever? Of course not. What you need to understand about me is I'm very sensitive and petty, okay? Like if you said something to me that I thought was way too far, like 3 months ago, for instance. In that moment, I tried to tell you that it was too far, and you were like, no, it's not. And you just like kept pushing it. Again, I would try to communicate. I try to plead my case, okay? But if that's not working, internalize it. And again, months later, like I said, even if it's something that I don't even care about anymore, like I'll just trust my mind and be like, okay, in that moment, I would probably want myself to get like some petty get back. Like, I owe it to that version of myself that was so sad and mad to get this get back. Here's the thing, I took that disrespect in the moment because I'm not the kind of person that's gonna like react and like call you the B word or something like that. It's the principle of it, okay? It's like, I don't care how long it is. I can't let you get away with that. Like, bro, even just outside date, like I'll be cool with people sometimes. Like we'll have great interactions. I'll call them, they'll call me. I'll know in the back of my mind, I'll be like, that one thing did happen that one time. Eventually, I'm gonna have to do something petty. And the thing is, I don't do like soft pet. Like I do it like at a crucial juncture. Like it has to be so much worse than what you said to me. For me, it can't just be like, you know, I said this, it made him mad, so he said this. I need to like slam dunk on you. I'm so patient, and I'm always waiting for the proper moment. Because the thing you gotta understand about like being petty, the time will come. If someone said something to me that I thought was crazy in the moment, and in the moment I said something crazy back, that's nothing. Like I said, people just kind of throw that away and call it a day. And then if I did that, I wouldn't be able to do something later. But I'm telling you, if you keep your composure in the moment, I don't know if it's like the universe or God rewarding you, there will be a time where you can do this person more horrendous than they've ever been done in their life. And that's obviously like within reason, but something that's just objectively so much worse in a situation that they could never put you in after you do that. That's why I like this hiking breakup idea, because it's like, it's not something they can do back to you, you know? I feel like the worst that can happen is like, oh my gosh, he's so lame. It's how horrible is this guy? And it's like, bro, like at that point, it's like, I feel like you already won.
Now that I think about it, I think Bella low-key knew.
How's Mama doing?
So now I'm replying to my own comment, but
I'm going to talk a little bit about...
The thing that I cannot get over about Twilight is that
I did Rosalie's wedding dress.
Bree and Connor, Love is Blind.
go in. He's not gonna listen to this.
No, he followed me and he got my number, he wanted my number, so I took his because I felt bad because it was his birthday, and I was like, why are you here on your birthday? And then he was sweet. He was.
You're such a.
No, I felt so bad.
I'm just kidding.
Felt so bad.
If it doesn't click, it doesn't click. Like you don't need to feel bad about it as long as you're respectful.
I know, but I was just like, oh, I don't want it. Like if the chance of him watching it, he just wasn't my type.
Okay, and that's fine. That's not mean.
I know.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Like,
okay.
Looks-wise,
Yeah.
or okay.
This scene happens, so let's
Really furious that he's.
I didn't know what she was doing.
Hey, I was wondering if you could...
Yeah. I'll be...
30 seconds.
I have something that I like.
What do you think is like a good way to go about getting over a past relationship where you never fully got closure?
Good.
The Abby Young method has
You know, this is a great question and one that I can't believe.
No.
If one of my girls had just been...
I've been avoiding this question for so long.
Have you ever had your heart...
When you are...
Why didn't you call me?
Let's review Chris from Love.
Hans merupakan seorang...
Why didn't you say...
Don't take people...
Looks like I have more to the...
Kamu itu wanita...
And first off, fuck the patriarchy. Second, have you seen those posts about Alpine divorce? A woman lost her life recently because of this. It's when a man takes you on a hike and strands you. Apparently this is so common, there are support groups for it. Well, I'm not victim blaming, of course, because doing that to your partner is fucking psychotic, and men suck. But I will give you advice on how to make sure that that never happens to you. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Nye. I'm an ACE-certified personal trainer and an ACE-certified health and wellness coach. I'm also the founder of Matriarchal Mindset, an online women's health community built to reignite the matriarchy. 20% of the profits this month go to UNICEF. Next Sisterhood Circle is on March 27th. But anyways, the first thing that you are going to do is never blindly trust a man. Think about how overly confident the average man is. Most marked trails are going to have trail maps, so make sure you double check that trail map. Take a picture on your phone before going on a hike. And this is not sponsored, but I love All Trails just because there's a satellite function, and also you can download the map before your hike. I once trusted my ex-husband on a hike. He told me it was going to be like a 5 or 6 mile hike round trip. We were summiting, but he told me that the trail wasn't going to be that bad. Turns out it was 10 miles and a scramble, which means we were on our hands and knees for a lot of it. We didn't pack enough water, food, or warm jackets for the summit. And I sprained my ankle on the way down. We had like 2 miles left. And he didn't even do it on purpose. He was just as miserable as I was, but double check their work. The second thing you need to do is get fucking jacked. Build your core strength because that's your stability. Your glutes are going to help you go uphill and your quads are going to help you with uphill and downhill. Building muscle as a woman is an investment in your long-term health and your freedom overall. And cardio 3 times a week in the form of a brisk walk can literally save your life in the short term and the long term. Physical fitness is not just for aesthetics, it's literally life or death. And if you need help with this, sign up for that free Zoom call with me so we can get to know each other. And the last thing you can do, and I'm sorry, this is going to sound very harsh, but stop being a pick-me cool girl who says yes to everything. Especially if you're not outdoorsy or don't like to hike, you don't have to go. Especially if he doesn't bother to do any activities that you personally enjoy. Don't fucking go. Like, I love hiking. My partner does not. So I am on this hike by myself today with Bear Mace. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this message, make sure to hit all of the buttons, especially repost so more women can see this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Unless you're a misogynist, then I hope you have the day that you deserve.
And I just watched a video of a woman talking about how she went on a hike with a man and he left her out there alone. What the hell? Okay, here's the thing. If you go and search for that, you're not just going to find one. There's a lot of them. And I also just found out there's a term for this because men be doing that a lot, apparently. It's called an Alpine divorce. Yeah, that's murder, okay? All right, so women, hi, hello. You have this thing called intuition. It's there. Much like me, I was trained not to listen to that because guess what? Whenever you can see things for exactly what the F they are, people that don't want you to see things for exactly what the F they are, gaslight you into not believing your senses, okay? F their opinions because guess what? Somebody else's incorrect opinion about what's going on is invalid. So, yeah, start trusting your gut now, immediately, because if you don't, I will come after you. You got it? Cool. All right, so in the future, before a date, if you are even just talking to somebody and you get a bad feeling, I swear to God, who is a woman, by the way, before they flipped it on its head and turned him into a man. Yeah. Anyway, I swear to God, she and I will come after you. You get it? Okay. If you get a bad feeling just talking to somebody, trust it. If you get a bad feeling before a date, don't go. If you get a bad feeling before a vacation, definitely don't go. Definitely don't go. I'm not going to go into detail, but I got one of those gut feelings once, and I was very correct to trust that. Very correct. Yeah, I'm not going to explain how. I will later, though. Oh, I was correct. Yeah, and I also, my gut and my intuition led me around somebody who had stalked me 4 states away from where they lived and appeared to be trying to throw me into a van. Really weird. Yeah, really weird. But my gut was like, hey, we're going to walk this weird direction that you've never walked before to get to your car. And so I did that. And then when I got to my car, poof, there he was, looking real fucking scared that I walked around him for some reason. What? Weird. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is just your daily reminder. Listen to that shit. Because there's a chance that if you don't, you won't have another opportunity. Okay? All right. Love you. Bye.
I date people who like
Alpine divorce, blanket party. Alpine divorce I learned about here on TikTok, which is when a man and a woman go out into the wilderness together. The man, for whatever reasons, gets pissed off, leaves the woman out in the wilderness, and she has to find her way back. And when she gets there, the car may or may not be there. Blanket party is a term that I learned through reading a book, Firekeeper's Daughter, where the Ojibwe tribe's women would form groups and go out and find men who harmed women, and they would wrap them in a blanket and they would beat the shit out of them. And if you don't know women who are personally set up like that, that's okay. You could probably hire a service. I saw a woman on here who has a business where she beats up men for women, just like hires people to beat them up. The blanket might even be an extra step. So I don't think it's a coincidence that I learned about Alpine divorce and blanket parties within the same season. That can't be a coincidence.
Yesterday, I posted a video talking.
Hi. So I've gotten a few inboxes about these Alpine divorces, stories of women going out on hikes with their men, their mate, their partner, their husband, whomever, okay? And they have been abandoned by the person they went out hiking with. So I do know of one story that is somewhat credible of a guy that was in Norway, took his wife out there to the mountains and left her out in the cold and she froze to death. And he was convicted of murder. So how do we as women combat that? This is a shame before God, okay? I probably would start sharing my location with people that are close to me. I share my location with two of my sisters at all times, and they do the same for me. We always know where one another is at all times. And if I'm doing something different, I do tend to reach out to them and let them know where am I going. I let them know, and my daughter, who is here in the state with me, knows where I'm going. Nobody will never have anywhere in thought of me being somewhere by myself, okay? I think I'm going to do a little bit more research with my Apple Watch when I'm off the grid. I think it can still pick up location, but don't quote me on it. I'm going to check into it more. This is a shame. I didn't know this was going on. If y'all know of many other resources that we as women could use to keep one another safe, that would be great. I really hate the way that things have been going. And maybe these things have been going all along, but since we have mediums like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that we're able to communicate with one another, that we know to be a bit more careful. I love going hiking. And the last time I went hiking, it was with somebody that I knew. And I felt safe because there were other people out there hiking that same location that day. So I don't think that he would do anything crazy like that. But in the event he did, I wouldn't have been out there for long. Y'all be careful, ladies. If you have any more comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them below.
Do you guys ever wonder how...
Everyone's sharing their Alpine divorce story, so I want to share mine. And this is not as traumatic as a lot of the ones that I'm seeing, but it was traumatic for me, and that's what matters. So I went on a hiking trip with this guy in Zion National Park. So we start hiking up Angel's Landing, and he just leaves me. He goes ahead of me, and if you know Angel's Landing, it is hard. And this was before there were permits. So it's a fucking packed trail. You're going to fall off the side of the fucking mountain because there's so many people. Anyway, he leaves me hiking up, meet him at the top, take a picture. He fucking hikes down with some girl that he met on the way up there. So I was like, cool. I have to hike down with strangers. So thankfully people adopted me on the fucking trail, and they were sweet, and they hiked down with me so I wouldn't be alone. So then he made me do the Narrows with him that day, and he leaves me on that trail as well. And if you don't know what the Narrows is, you're hiking through water. And people normally don't do them both in the same day. I was exhausted, baby. I was exhausted, and the water was up to my knees. But This motherfucker just leaves me. So I end up having to hike with some sweet Hasidic Jewish women who are out there living their best fucking life, baby. I loved them. They were great. And I hope y'all are doing well today. Anyway, so then we get out of the trail and, he's sitting there yucking it up with some ladies. He met some other ladies. And he tells me that when we get back to the hotel, he has to FaceTime his ex-girlfriend because she's having a hard time. So he proceeds to FaceTime her for like hours. So I'm calling all my friends, like, what the fuck do I do? We're stuck in Utah. And everyone's like, leave him, leave him. The hotels are in my name. The rental car's in my name. I'm like, I can't leave this motherfucker. I can't leave this motherfucker, even though he's leaving me here. We got to finish the trip. So we did the Grand Canyon. I have hiked the Grand Canyon before. So I just let him do his own thing. Also, I had so many like bumps and bruises from the fucking arrows, and I had blisters, and I was just not having it and mentally exhausted because he would not stop FaceTiming his fucking girlfriend. Excuse me, ex-girlfriend. He wouldn't stop FaceTiming his ex-girlfriend. So we finished the fucking trip, and I was like, okay, we're done. We're done. He gets back with his ex-girlfriend, and then kept calling me because he's like, oh my God, she's cheating on me. We got back together. She cheated on me. And I was like, what did you fucking expect, you dumb fucking asshole? But anyway, I guess now he is with someone that he hikes with, which good for him. Hopefully he doesn't leave her, but he probably will. But also, all I can remember about that trip also was that he got like a really intense like butt sweats rash. So he had to go get Gold Bond, and he smelled disgusting. When I tell you he smelled like a rest home, like that was like the Lord just divine intervention. Like, look, I'm gonna prove to you to get this motherfucker out of your life, if only because he smells so fucking disgusting. So anyway, whatever girl is dealing with him right now, which his MO is normally like 2 to 3 girls at a time, whatever 2 to 3 girls are dealing with him at this time, I hope to God his butt still smells like fucking Gold Bond and diarrhea. Anyway,
I just stumbled on to Alpine Divorce and hiking TikTok. What the fuck do you mean Alpine Divorce? I've never heard of this, but it literally does not surprise me in the slightest. And it always circles back to bear versus man, and it's always the bear. You always pick the bear. I've been on a hike, and a cub and a mother have like passed me, and you are literally more safe with the bear. You're more safe with the bear. And it's just like, I just don't get the obsessive cruelty to women when like you can just leave them. Not in the woods, like you can just break up with them. And it's just like, it makes me so angry to be a woman sometimes. It really does. It makes me furious that it's just like so much unnecessary cruelty. Cause it's like, I'm a woman. I've been cheated on. I've been lied to. I've been devastated. I have gone through some shit with some men and really just been at rock bottom. And I've never been like, let me leave him in the woods to die. Like that's just never crossed my mind ever. And it's just like, how common it is, and I'm just like, man, I didn't need this at my 2 a.m. garden brain. Did not. Now
And I'm not gonna lie, and when I say this, y'all, like, please know I'm not judging the situation, because I really think it's all fucked up, but when he leaves you on the hike, y'all don't chase after him? Baby, I'm hopping on his back. He ain't leaving nowhere without me. Like, I don't give 2 fucks. He gonna have to call the police and say I'm harassing him. Nigga, you're gonna take me out this fucking mountain. Like, are y'all? No. I'm not walking back by myself crying. The same way I got there will be the same way I leave. I hate it for y'all. Like, oh my God. I would hate to even be in that position, but I don't know. Y'all need to get one of them belts, loop around them or something. Like, man, y'all need to make sure they don't leave.
So I just found out what an Alpine Divorce is, and my mind is blown. Imagine this. Your boyfriend says, hey, let's take a trip. Let's go camping. Let's go hiking. Y'all go into the middle of the woods. He says, hey, I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. And
you never hear from him again.
That's what an Alpine Divorce is. It's when you take your woman on a hike and you leave her in the middle of the woods and never talk to her again. Now, I've done some truly diabolical things in my life, but, yeah, never that. Never that. Like, imagine being on a camping trip, and 1 minute everything's good,
and the next minute you gotta find your own way back.
from the middle of the woods.
That's crazy. And then it has a term, Alpine divorce. Oh man, y'all are crazy.
This comment is in reference to a twi-
I saw a TikTok that said that men will purposefully leave you behind on hikes to, one, humiliate you because it makes them feel powerful, or two, just because they're oblivious and they're allowed to be because of the patriarchy. When my partner and I hike together, he always lets me go first because I'm slower and I can set the pace that way, but also because he likes to look at my butt while we hike. And that is also why he holds the backpack, so that there's nothing obstructing his view. I saw a TikTok that...
Why do you think it's so... I've had this happen where I was dating someone pretty seriously and I was the last one to send him like a novel or like art.
Austin recently tried...
Some girls get offended. Good morning. Why am I seeing all these videos about Alpine divorces? I've never heard the term. But why in the fuck is y'all going anywhere with these goddamn men? When you're inexperienced, right? You're inexperienced and you just letting a man lead you to hell. And then leaving you there. I don't put nothing past nobody, right? I don't put nothing past no fucking body. But I feel like this is a particular kind of, this is such a specific way to get rid of somebody. This is such a specific way to get rid of somebody. Because, first of all, how the fuck, what do you mean he left you there? What do you mean? He left you there. You didn't club that man with a rock or a tree limb? What in the fuck? Second of all, I think people be so trusting of people. People are, you think it's your partner, this man loves you and all this other stuff. Because after I done went down, I seen the first video that I saw and went down the rabbit hole of how many men actually be doing this shit. Huh? What? I wish a man ever would. Be like, yeah, babe, let's go on a hike. Knowing that I don't fucking hike. I'm gonna one-up you, bitch. I'm gonna one-up you. Because what the fuck did you think this was? What did you think this was? Huh? Uno reversal your ass, bitch. Now I left you here.
The topic du jour this evening is Alpine divorce. An Alpine divorce is when a man takes a woman on a hike, somewhere far usually, somewhere cold, or too hot. He is the experienced hiker. She is not. He takes her up somewhere to the middle of nowhere and leaves her. If you go down the rabbit hole, there's several videos. This thing is way too common. And it's also international. Because why would the evils that these demons do be locked into one area?
Mountain has been found guilty of gross negligent manslaughter. Thomas P., as he's identified by Austrian media, was accused of leaving the woman in stormy conditions close to the summit of the Großlochner in the early hours of the 19th of January 2025 while he went to get help. She later died alone of hypothermia. During the trial, the court heard from a former girlfriend of his, who said he'd also left her alone on a previous tour of the same mountain back in 2023.
He only got 5 months. 5 months for leaving a woman on a mountain to pass away in one of the most cruel ways to pass away. 5 months and what would equal a $9,000 fine. That's all he got. And he's done this before, even though that woman survived. What type of person, what type of lack of soul, what type of depravity does it take in a person to do something like that? Like, could you imagine the terror? Could you imagine the fear of how scary that is? Because it's 100% premeditated. There is no, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just going to leave her up here as a second thought. That's done on purpose. Their purpose is to go up there to do that, leave that girl, and harm her, if not worse. Because the goal is for her to not come down.
He did?
And this is a thing. And yet they wonder why. They wonder why. Because even though if you're not an outdoorsy person, or if you're not the type of person who, when you fall in love, all of your logic goes out the window, because I'll be damn if somebody come to me and say, hey, let's take a hike. No. But I understand. I've been young. I was young at one time, and there was a time I would do almost anything for my man. Except for that, I know I wasn't going on no hike because I don't like outside unless a Caribbean island and a beach is involved. I'm not big on outside, never have been. However, I understand that. But still, the level of cruelty, my God, on today, the level of cruelty. Yet he got 5 months. And still, I don't think in this country doing that is considered a crime, or no one has called the police and took it far enough to set the precedent to make it a crime. Because it's definitely premeditated murder. Yes, I said the word TikTok because it's time for you to start treating us like adults